Welcome back. Now, parties in the GNU have been at odds regarding the national budget since February, and this over the contentious decision to hike the VAT rate. This week, the DA and EFF approached the High Court to stop the increase, and the ANC has now approached the DA with an out-of-court settlement on the matter. Bottom line, the VAT hike will not take effect on proposed day of the 1st of May. DA Federal Chair Helen Zille joins us now with more detail. Helen, thanks so much for your time this afternoon. Now, are you still seeing this as a DA victory, even after, the recent briefing that was held by parties that voted for the fiscal framework?
Thank you, Mthaleng. Well, you've given your own answer to your question. The parties voted for the fiscal framework, and the fiscal framework as it stands today contains the VAT increase. So they voted for the fiscal framework in the Portfolio Committee and in the Standing Committee and in the plenary. So they voted for a 0.5% VAT increase.
There was, the contention around that 30-day pause where there could be a change.
Well, there couldn't be a change because just last week, on Thursday last week, the minister, in his replying affidavit to our court challenge against the VAT increase, said that there was absolutely no way that he was going to withdraw it and that it stood for 0.5% increase on the 1st of May. Mm-hmm. Now, that was well after the 30-day period that that these smaller parties were speaking about. So the minister insisted the VAT increase was going ahead. There was no concession this time last week. Then we had the Easter weekend. And the only thing that happened between last Thursday and this Thursday was Tuesday when our case was presented to the High Court. Yeah. And then on Wednesday, when the minister's lawyers quickly advised him that he better ask us to settle out of court because the consequences would be dreadful if he didn't.
All right, so a victory there on the VAT front, right? We're not getting an increase on the 1st of May. There were two parts of your application, Helen. Part B referring to inconsistencies when it comes to regulation and how Parliament cannot delegate taxing power to the minister. Are you still moving ahead with that?
We are definitely moving ahead with Part B. Part B is a constitutional challenge to Section 7.4 of the VAT Act. We are saying it's unconstitutional because Section 7.4 gives the minister a power that only Parliament is allowed to have under the Constitution, and that is to impose a tax. Mm-hmm. The minister, as a member of the executive, cannot trump Parliament in announcing a tax increase, as 7.4 enables him to do. He can only take Parliament's lead on producing a tax increase, and that is why 7.4 is unconstitutional.
Now, I briefly touched on that media briefing that took place this morning. Take me through just your reaction of some of the commentary from the parties.
Well, there were two media briefings this morning. The first one was ours, and that started at 8:30 in the morning, and we set out exactly the processes that were followed and exactly when and how the minister's legal team decided to make us an offer to settle out of court and what that implied and where we would go to from here. So that was the DA's media briefing. Mm-hmm. That was followed by this, I don't know what it's all, a media briefing by the ANC and all the smaller parties, many of which are not even in the GNU, announcing that they'd all played a role in getting the VAT increase stopped, which is clearly not the case because in the minister's statement a week ago, before the Easter weekend, he announced that he wasn't intending to change it at all and he was sticking by the 0.5% increase. So, I think it's a bit of ex post facto rationalization, they call it.
Mm-hmm. And there's also a meeting between DA and ANC officials scheduled today. Walk me through, what will be discussed there, and perhaps Helen, just walk me through the dynamics at play between the DA and the other parties within the GNU.
So at the moment, we don't have a meeting with the ANC today. Okay. We have a meeting with the ANC tomorrow. Right. That's been rescheduled till tomorrow. And, well, the dynamics are that the DA stands up for our voters, and we've got a lot of them. And that gives us a lot of muscle in the government of national unity. And it gives us a muscle to fight against things that our voters don't want and to fight for things that they do want. And that is what we'll keep on doing.
And before I let you go, Helen, walk me through the process from now, right? VAT has been scrapped. Will we see the fiscal framework go back to Parley?
Actually, VAT hasn't yet been scrapped.
Okay.
We first have to get an out-of-court settlement agreement that is then made an order of court. And those are the negotiations that are ongoing today. So we'll have to see how that pans out, what offer the minister makes, whether we have to believe that we must amend that offer or sign it, and then whether it is made an order of court, and then we will know. In terms of Parliament, Parliament has to review or rescind their decision to adopt the fiscal framework that all the smaller parties supported with the VAT increase. And either they have to rescind that or a court has to give the order that it is nullified, one of the two.
All right.
So there is still some way to go in this whole battle.
Helen, thanks so much for your time and just sharing those insights. That was DA Federal Chair Helen Zille.